Hi everybody, this is Heather Brown with Midnight Serenity, and today we are going to complete a crayon box badge reel. And with this badge reel this time we have a vinyl decal. Now both of these items can be purchased at moxievinyl.com, and this is just to give you an idea of what the printed vinyl decals look like as opposed to doing layered vinyl. So you have your blank, and when you get your blank, both sides will have a brown paper on them. I personally do everything on the front and then leave the paper on the back for any spillage, and then we will take the paper off the back once we're completed. For this one, we're going to go ahead and use a gold base. This happens to be Dream a Dream by All Covered in Glitter, and this will be mixed in with our epoxy. We'll put that on the base, and then we'll finish it off with our decal, and then we will also add our beads. So today I am using, as always, Resin Rockers UV hard resin. This resin is amazing. It always cures after 120 seconds, and it is nice and shiny. So it's definitely the perfect type of resin for your badge reel and keychain projects. So we're going to take, and I just put about, not quite 2.5 milliliters. You don't need a lot. And then I'm also going to put in some of this glitter. Again, you don't need a ton. If you put too much glitter, you will have some issues with your resin curing. So I just kind of sprinkle it pretty much just on top. And there we have the gold. Now we're going to go ahead and stir that up. And when you stir this, you want it to be the consistency of cake batter. So you don't want it too thick, but you also don't want it too thin. So it's going to have just the nice consistency, so it's kind of runny like that, like cake batter would be. Once you have this mixed up with UV resin, you do have unlimited work time. Unless you're working in the sun, then it will cure, so you don't want to do that. So you can work in the shade and then put it on the sun, but don't work in the sun. All right, so we're going to go ahead, and I always start my blanks in the middle, and then I work my way out to the edges. So I just, as you can see, I just put a little dollop there on the center, and I'm just going to carefully spread that out to the edges, trying to avoid any overage from dripping over. So we're just going to continue to spread this on all of these crayon tips. There's 3. There's 4. And if you feel like you need more, like as you're spreading it, and it's like, wow, that's really thin in that area, after you wait a few minutes for it to self-level, because it is a self-leveling resin. So as you can see, those holes are pretty much already filled in that I did earlier. And you don't want to put too much, or else it will run over the edges. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and this on. We're just covering up the whole blank. Now, one trick to these too, if you don't want to use a lamp or don't have a lamp, you can definitely cure them out in the sunshine. I do have a cookie sheet that I place on them on, and take it out in the sun occasionally, just to, as I say, use God's electricity instead of mine. All right, so we're just about done. These are silicone stir sticks that I'm using to kind of spread it over. The nice thing with the silicone stir sticks is you can cure them along with your blank, and then they just peel off and come clean. So that's what we're going to do next. And I'm going to show you a trick with these little cups too. And you're going to take just a torch. This is like from a gas station or Lowe's or Menards. You're just going to give it some quick hits. You don't want to put too much heat on it, or else you will burn it. I am going to go ahead and put all 3 of these under the lamp for 120 seconds, and then I will be back. All right, so this is just about finished with 2 minutes under the lamp, and got our cured piece here, and then our silicone stick has also been cured, and you can either take like your nail or another piece of like pliers or whatever, and this will clean right up and get that silicone off of there, or excuse me, the epoxy off of the silicone, so that it's ready for the next use. These are little cups that I get from Allegra Medical, and they're kind of squishy. They're plastic, but they're squishy. If you use them for your resin and you throw them under your light also, you can cure it. And then this epoxy or resin will pop right out, and now you can recycle that cup. You have a clean cup and everything is out of there. How cool is that? All right, so we have our crayon box, and now these again are decals. So they already come with a protective layer of transfer tape and then the decal, so you don't need any additional transfer tape. And you're simply going to peel it off the backing, that's garbage. And then you're going to line it up, and I try to just make it as square as I can along the bottom, lining it up, and there we go. You can hang on to the transfer tape if you want to use it for another project, or you can throw it away. Now this badge can certainly have a name go on here, you know, Mrs. Jones, whatever the case may be. You can personalize it if you have a cutting machine to do so. Next, we're going to go ahead and UV resin this. Now it does look like there's a couple little teeny air bubbles in here. You can take your like weeding tool and just make a very small hole in them, and that will lay down. So that is an option to do. It's got some on the other side. And then just press it and lay it down so that it goes flat. All right, so next we're going to go ahead, again, we're going to use the UV resin hard type, and I'm going to put that right on top of the decal. I usually put about a dime to a quarter size epoxy resin. I call them one and the same. And then I'm going to put it in the middle, and I'm going to pull it out to the edges. You want to make sure that you're getting a good seal between that decal and the glitter. So we're just going to continue to push this out. Just like that. I'm just taking this all the way to the end, making sure that I am taking care of those crayons so that they're nice and protected. And then we'll show you how to bead it, and it will be done. That simple. All right. I'm just going to let that sit for a minute. The Resin Rockers UV resin is self-leveling, so you do just let it sit and it will level on its own. We have some air pockets in there, so we're going to take a torch. You don't want to torch it, you know, long because you will burn it. So you're just going to do short bursts. Now there are a few areas of air, so in those areas we're going to go ahead and just pick that up a little bit. And I'm just touching them, trying to get those bubbles to come to the top so that I can go ahead and get them popped and taken care of, so that we have a nice, smooth looking finished product. Don't like seeing bubbles in there. One more stubborn bubble. All right, this looks really good. I don't see any more bubbles. So we're gonna go ahead and place the crayon box and the silicone tip brush under the light again for 2 minutes. And I will be back. All right, this is just about finished. When this comes out, you don't want to necessarily touch it, because with Resin Rockers, it does continue to cure for a little bit afterwards. So I usually just try to touch the sides to get my blank up, but as you can see, we have a little bit of run over right here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and clean that up with an X-Acto knife. So I'm gonna take my knife for this one, and I'm just going to carefully get underneath that resin and get it taken up. And you want to do it carefully so that you don't lift up the resin there. Again, I'm carefully not touching things. And then it does look like I have some run over in between these crayons. I'm famous for it. It's not uncommon if you've ever watched any of my videos. So in order to clean that up, I'm going to take this pair of needle nose pliers and we're going to go in there and you're going to carefully break it backwards or wiggle it. You don't want to pull upward because you will break the seal. So we're just going to bend it backwards. Again, same thing here. We're just going to kind of wiggle it. We did wiggle it up a little bit, but we didn't like bend it up. So we're just kind of wiggling it to get that overage out of there. This is super adorable. All right, so we're going to take our weeding pen or pin pen, and we're going to go ahead and get rid of that brown plastic or protective piece on the back. So here's the back of our badge reel, and here is the front of our badge reel. And then you're going to take your silicone tip brush was under the light. If you just peel that tip off, that is cured, throw that away, and now you have a clean brush for the next time. All right. And last but not least, we are going to bead this pen. So we have these two silicone beads here, and we have a spacer right here. I used 10mm rondelles and two 20mm bubblegum beads. These beads are from the Tumbleristas on Etsy. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our badge reel. You're going to test it to make sure it's good. We're going to lift up the alligator clip and wrap that badge reel around. And the reason is you're going to be taking the stopper off in a few minutes, and you don't want that to retract back in there. Next, we're going to take a pair of pliers, and we're going to put them inside this metal V on there. If you can see that metal V, we're going to put the pliers in there, and we're going to pull them apart so that we open that up. So now we have that open, lay that aside, and then that leaves you with the clear stopper. We're going to push the string through the clear stopper. There's a knot on the end of the string. You can see that. There we go. We're going to cut that knot off, obviously using a pair of scissors. So that is cut off. Now that that knot is cut off, we can go ahead and remove the stopper. So there's our stopper. We'll put that over here with this piece. And you'll notice I was able to let go of that string without it winding back inside because we have it stopped around here. All right, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my torch and I'm just going to melt that end just a little bit so that it will go back in our stopper when we're ready. So now we're going to put these back in place. I really like this gold bead. It's got a gold shimmer to it, and I think it's going to go well with the crayon. And then this rhinestone has like gold and purple and blue, and again, another great choice for that badge. We're going to now take the string and put it back through the original stopper hole. So now it's back through. You're just going to push it through there, tie that in a knot. There we go. That is tied in a knot now, as you can see right there. And next what we're going to do is you're going to want a pair of pliers that have like the threads on them, because we are going to take this letter V and we are going to place it between our fingers like so, and then hold on to it with this set of pliers. Okay, so you put it in there and you kind of squeeze it so it puts some tension on there, and then you're going to take the stopper, put it in there and squeeze it shut. And I do like to snap these back together when I'm done, just so that they are all nice and uniform, and it kind of gives me a chance to make it work. So as you can see, we have our two beads on here. Now with the beads, you always want to bead them upside down, so whichever bead you put on first will be on the top. Now we can go ahead and unwind this. All right, and there you have it. There is our two beads for this gorgeous crayon box. I attached this using dual lock Velcro from 3M, and I usually cut 4 strips. So if you can see in here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we cut. And that just makes it so that they are all equal pieces. All right, next we're gonna go ahead and just snap this together like that. take off the backing for one of those, and it's very staticky. We're going to put the backing onto our badge reel, and then we're going to take the backing off the second piece of Velcro, and we're going to put that onto our decorated blank, or our decorated blank onto it, I should say. And I'm just very carefully pushing the sides so that I'm not, but you can see it's, you know, the dual lock. This one must be, oh, we're good, sorry. The dual lock system. All right, something's going on with this blooper. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. There was a section of the Velcro that looks like it must have got smashed somehow, so that's why it wasn't sticking. So we are going to try this again, and just to get the other Velcro piece off, we're just gonna like try to pry it up with our pliers and then tear it off. You can use your nails if you have them. I personally don't, so that's why I use pliers. And then we're just gonna pry it off. As you can see, it's pretty tight on there. All right, so I got a new piece. Let's see if this one locks together better. Much better. So again, we're gonna take that backing off. See, I don't know how to edit. I should have said this in the beginning. I don't know how to edit, so what you get from me is raw learning video. So I hope you guys like it. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and follow me. All right, so there you go. There you have your crayon badge reel from your DIY box. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day.